Mm.
A little bit messed up there. There we go. I'm back on. Sorry about that. I think they heard you, but they didn't hear me for all that. Just a second.
Oh, wow.
Oh, welcome. Not the whole spiel. But welcome. Again, Amy from Scotland watching. We've got Daisha from Illinois, JD from North Carolina. I keep saying North Carolina, New York City, all tuning in for this very special Wizard Weekly. We're going to take a look back at some of the clips from our horror panels so far. We had Sleepaway Camp, we had the cast of A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and the cast of A Nightmare on Elm Street 5. We're going to watch some of those clips, plus talk to one of our amazing artists who's joining us here this week about the work that she has designed that you can get purchased and signed by the cast. So that's it for me right now. Let's turn things over to Victor Dangerous. Victor, tell everybody who you are and why you're here.
Nobody knows why I'm here. No, I'm Victor Dangerous, the hardest working man in comics, editor-in-chief of Wizard Magazine, and I had the great fortune of moderating two of the panels that we're going to be talking about. In addition to all of that, I am a huge horror fan, so this is like right up my alley. This is the place to be. Okay, let's talk horror. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Yeah, there are horror fans in the chat right now. Definitely start putting in your favorite horror movies, your favorite killers, because we are going to be talking about all things horror on this week's edition of Wizard Weekly. But joining us is our special guest. This is our very first artist spotlight of the week. We're very excited to have her here. Amy of Amy May Pop Art. Hello, Amy. Thank you for being here today.
Hello.
Hey.
Thank you so much for having me here. I feel like after this crazy pandemic year, I'm back with my people, even though
Yes.
live con. It's just so good to talk with horror fans again.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
And also to celebrate artists. You know, one of the best things of live shows, is Artist Alley and vendors, booths. And we haven't had that for so long. And while this is only a tip of it, we can only just talk to you right now. Oh, and Chris is coming in too. Should we let Chris
sweet.
in?
Oh, yay!
Let's let Chris in. Chris is Zoom bombing us right now, everybody. Chris
He
of
survived.
Chris Butler Designs is popping in. What up, Chris?
Hey.
Hi.
Chris, welcome. You're just in
Wow.
time. You're just in time. You basically
You made
just
it.
Zoom bombed us essentially, but that's okay.
Today was it's
Yeah, so sorry.
a very weird day.
Yeah, so Chris, we're currently live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But welcome. You are our second artist that is here today that has designed a bunch of amazing pop art and poster art for our horror series. We were just talking to Amy, so I'm gonna let Amy finish, and I'm gonna turn things over to you, Chris. But yeah, Amy, tell us a little bit about. We were talking about getting back to the con scene, and although this is virtual, it's still nice to hang out with some horror nerds and some artists and be here. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved with us. And I'm gonna start to scroll some of your amazing designs, and Chris, I have some of yours as well.
Oh,
after that.
sure.
Yeah.
We get a little slideshow.
Yeah.
I got involved with Wizard World. Just Christine, who works with you guys, purchased a lot of from my Etsy shop, and we started talking about the series. And I had no idea that you guys were doing a whole horror series, and just was so excited. And I just have a huge selection of horror in my shop, but I'm constantly taking requests, and I love doing like more obscure characters like Guillermo or and so I told her, like, I want to be involved and I will make anything you want. So Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows is new.
Yeah.
I finished the captain for the events, and so I was just really excited to get involved. And then you guys proposed that we have the actors sign these, and so I was totally game. So we have a pretty big selection that is for the horror series, that's kind of exclusive to you guys, that they will be signed by some of the actors. So
Yeah.
it's really, really exciting. I'm so very, very happy to be a part of it.
Yay.
It's beautiful. It's got such a cool look to it. I feel like it really highlights these characters, and their ferocity, but also their silliness, if you will. And maybe that's the wrong word to use in horror, but you know what I mean?
It's right, because I love to add humor into the situations. I'm a lifelong horror fan, and but I also like to poke fun at it. So just adding a lot of joy to the situation. Judy is amazing, but I love to make fun of her. And so that's like adding the bright colors and making it pop is kind of adding some humor to the dark material.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. We have JD Smith, digital artist, hanging out in Twitch. JD comes out a bunch of our panels. They used to freelance for Fangoria, so we have a fellow horror artist in the chat right now. Fans watching at home, if you have any questions for the artist or just about the series, or want to hear our opinions on our favorite horror thing, definitely put them in the chat, tag at Wizard World, and we'll get to as many as we can. But I want to bring in Chris. Quick setup. We didn't know if Chris could make it tonight. Chris lost power and there was a fire and everything. But you made it here, Chris. My gosh, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you being here.
I'm very happy to be here. I did not think it was going to happen, but I'm very excited that I was able to.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us, Chris, similar kind of concept in the sense of you use digital, art to put together fun, collaborations of your own. Tell us a little about, we're seeing your work now here, some of these awesome variant posters. Tell us a little bit how you got started in that genre, of design.
I've always loved horror, and I've always been really fascinated with the look of the posters, and I've always loved the classic vintage look of a lot of horror posters. So basically, my brother was running an outdoor event where there was like a big. It was that this was actually pre-COVID too. When you think, it's funny when you think about it, because it was an outdoor event at a drive-in. And they were showing Psycho and Night of the Living Dead back to back, and he asked me to do a poster for the event. So I did that, and then I asked, "Well, what are you doing for posters for the two movies?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna find something on Google, and I'll blow them up." And I'm like, "Well, the resolution's probably gonna suck," and like, I've always wanted to take a crack at doing horror posters, so I'll do a Psycho and a Night of the Living Dead poster. So I did those two, and I had a blast. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. There's a lot of like vendors were at the event. So basically, you would shop during the day and then watch movies at
that is
dusk.
Awesome.
Yeah, really cool.
That's so fun.
And so I said, I'm gonna print these two posters and I'm gonna sell these at the event. And then I was like, well, I should make a few more. And then in a month, I ended up making 12 more posters. So I set up a table. I sold 30 that day, and I was like, wow, people like these. I should, make more. And then I opened up an Etsy shop, and now I have close to, I think, 200 posters in there, and I'm close to hitting 7,000 sales now. And that was, awesome. I opened it at the end of 2019, I believe, 2018. At the end of 2018, and so I've gotten like 7,000 sales since then. People, love the stuff. I post it on Instagram. They go over and buy it, and it word of mouth, and it just kind of has been snowballing since.
That's awesome.
And I love it because I watch the movies while I design the poster. Like, I don't care how many times I've seen it. If I'm doing a Jason Takes Manhattan poster, I'm watching Jason Takes Manhattan.
Gotta watch that. Come on.
While I design the poster.
Yeah, and you can see, I think you can see that. That one is one of my favorites, just because you can tell that you had an eye for the movie and picked like specific shots and looks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That weren't originally similar to the original design of the original poster, but your own take on it, you know what I mean, which is my favorite part. And again, variants, I mean, Victor knows, and I want to turn things over to Victor for some questions from you both, but variants are huge. Variant covers for comics and variant takes on art are so big because it's all about the collectability of them and having that one thing that no one else has. I know when I look for like t-shirts, I know when I look for posters, I'm always looking for that one that no one else has, or it's not the common one that everybody's already got, you know what I mean? So cool. Victor, any questions for our artist?
Yes. Okay, so obviously with an art background myself, my question is process. Can you walk us through kind of your thought process and in your physical process for how you create work, whether that's how long you spend on each piece? What do you do? Like, do you guys start with sketches first, or is it just kind of like you just kind of open up a blank slate and just start going? Either one of you can answer.
Well, I just want to mention, Chris, I think it's beautiful that this literally was born at a drive-in theater. That warms my heart.
Right.
And I've loved that they've been coming back kind of out of necessity, because that's the best way to watch horror.
Yes, absolutely.
It's cool. But my process, it's fan art. And so most of it is my fan art. It's things that I am really into. Some of it is by request, just things that other people love. Some of it's very specific, like a specific character, even that wasn't the main character of Sleepaway Camp. He is the one that resonated the most with me. And everything I do is digital. It's all, I use Photoshop. I kind of start with photos and take pieces from those and kind of turn it into a coloring page. And then the color is the most important thing to me. Not, part realistic, but then also adding kind of fantastic colors into the mix.
No, I love it. Your textures, it's very xenographic, where you're like almost like you're taking a photocopy, but then adding like that pop Warhol-ness behind it, which is like that's
yeah. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, so I don't.
Okay.
That I was raised by Warhol.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Chris, what about you? In terms of process, what are you getting into?
Generally, it starts with, I want to make this poster.
Right.
I want to make a Chucky poster. And then I'm kind of in the beginning at the mercy of what I can find for images. And I've learned to really dig as far as I can dig. I try to use stuff that no one else has used, because I don't think there's any point in designing the same poster over and over again. I like to, if I can find something that's close to something that happened in the movie, then I like to take that image. And I have a couple different ways that I design. One of them, like for the Art the Clown one, in the Child's Play one that popped up. The Child's Play one is more, like I take the Chucky doll and then I find an image of a toy chest, then I find an image of this, and I find an image of that, and then I build it all together in Photoshop. Then I create my own background. I throw my own blood on it. I, throw the trim, the wallpaper, the whole nine. I add all that stuff piece by piece. I put the basketball on there. Nice. I put the knife in the basketball. I added the blood, the puddle of blood underneath. And then once I have all that done, off to Illustrator, where we do the text. And I put the if I have to redraw the logo of the movie, because a lot of the stuff that you find will be like really low res.
Right.
So font matching, if I can't find the font, I'm going to have to redraw it in Illustrator, the pen tool. So
right. Shout out to that vector work. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
And then for something like, like one of like the other images, like Terrifier, or even that one right there, I'll like find an image in the Jason one. So that's a good example right there. I'll take that image of Jason, crop him out, and then just blast out like the black and white, like make it black and white, and then change the opacity, make it black and white, turn it into a Pantone image or halftone, bring it into Photoshop, recolor it. So there are times that like if you see something that like has like a lot of the dots, like the halftone stuff, and you see multiple colors on it, I'm physically going in and repainting everything.
That's
I'm
awesome.
Painting the eye color, I'm painting the hair color, I'm painting everything. It started off as black and white, so it's like coloring, and that can be really therapeutic. Actually.
Oh yeah. Like Amy's like, yes, it can.
Yes.
The apps where you like color things in, and it's like, it's a lot like that.
I like that.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, those ones obviously take a lot longer, but I mean, overall, it's really fun. When you love the source material, it makes it so much more interesting.
Definitely.
And Chris, when you added your own blood to the Child's Play that, of course, was your actual physical blood from your
Whoa,
body.
whoa, whoa,
Yes.
whoa. We
That's
can't,
what-
oh my God,
Yes.
I didn't want him to admit that.
So that's a special perk, everybody. 1 out of every 100 posters has
Yes.
Chris's actual blood in it.
Yeah.
You can
Absolutely.
upcharge for that.
Yeah.
That's what makes it unique.
JD
Each
Smith,
post is individual.
Digia artist, JD Smith, Digia artist says, "I love the contrast of art styles between Amy and Chris." I think we're definitely seeing that there for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But what's great is you can go back and forth and you see the same exact film or the same movie, completely different artist style,
Right.
which is the best part. I want to turn to a clip right now. So Victor had the privilege of moderating 2 back-to-back panels with the cast and some repeats, obviously, with Lisa and Danny coming over in both 4 and 5 of A Nightmare on Elm Street. And one of the questions that came from fans was, what was their actual favorite horror franchise, or what's a horror franchise that they would love as an actor to be a part of? So you at home are going to watch this clip. We're going to listen to it here. It's about a 5-minute clip, and then we'll be back to talk about our favorite horror franchises. Take a look, everyone.
Any other horror franchise, what would you have picked? Obviously, Danny's like, I would have picked one because I like horror stuff. Don't scare me. But if you could pick any one, what would it have been? Andres, I'm going to start with you.
Alien counts, right?
100%.
Hey, you stole my king. All right.
I mean, no. Andras would have been an alien. You could have been an Aliens. There you go.
It's all the same
military.
franchise. We could come. Imagine
trying to
you and me,
help him
Danny,
out.
on a spaceship fighting one of those xenomorphs. We would
No,
have kicked
yeah,
ass.
I would totally watch that.
I was in acting class with Bill Paxton, but who knows? I could see
That's
playing that role.
That is awesome. The late great. Oh my
The
gosh.
late great Bill Paxton.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Toy, what about you?
I would have been in a horror film where I survived to start with.
Now, Toy.
Anyone.
Now,
I mean,
Toy. I love you so much, but you know the rule.
I
The
know, and
cultural rule.
I want to be a rule breaker.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to, between me and you, I just wanted to point out, like, you know what the
And I'm
rule is.
and I'm with you.
Okay.
We
That's
get
only
it.
Spielberg
But-
movie.
If I was to be in a movie, at least a remake, I
Right.
want to do the remake of a trilogy of terror or horrors. Do you remember when she like sticks the voodoo doll in one of them?
Yes.
In the oven and it
Oh my
possesses
God!
her?
Yes, yeah, that's
Right.
that
I
trilogy
want
of
to do
terror.
that, the black version. So like it's a Haitian doll. Well, I guess it was a Haitian doll. I don't know. Maybe it's like
It
a
was.
white Neanderthal. I don't know. Something. And
I
want to
like
play that all
Neanderthal.
those- I want to play all those 3 characters.
I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lisa, what about you? If you could be in any other franchise, which one would it be?
Oh, it would definitely be Anne Rice, the vampire
Ooh.
movies.
Oh,
That
nice.
is sensual. I like that.
I like
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like the first novel I ever read. I was like 10 years old. It was Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula,
Okay.
and I was hooked on to vampires and ghosts and horror ever since then. I literally read that book because, believe me, it was not on the 4th grade reading list.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
But, so I read it under the covers with my electric blanket light. Okay. Good night, Mom and Dad.
Now, Lisa, it's funny you say
Electric
that
blanket.
because when I moved back to LA 10 years ago, I moved in with Lisa and we were roommates. And we walked in the living room. You've got like swords and knights armor and things. I was like, what the hell am I moving into? She's like, don't you love it? And I'm like,
You're walking into a
And I
book.
look
That's
so
what it is.
innocent.
truly.
That's the best. Tuesday, what about you?
I don't know. I might like to have a little go with Mike Myers.
Oh.
I can get with that. Yes, yes.
I kind of Nice. like him because he really scares me because he just sees William Shatner all the time.
Yes.
and I can't get that face. It just with no expression and nothing. That would freak me out.
Of course. Brooke?
Oh gosh. First of all, I am a huge horror fan. I grew up with a brother who's 4 years older than me, and he had all the magazines and all the books. So I am old school. So
I love it.
I don't know about a franchise, but I think I would definitely do a remake of Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the culture that you guys are representing here with this.
I'm
This
so
is awesome.
curious. How would you? The Creature from the Black Lagoon is such an interesting sort of anachronism. How would you update it? Would it be like Shape of Water? Would the creature have
Right?
love there? Like, how would you do that?
Well, I mean, I think I don't know. I have
Maybe
no
it's
idea.
a pandemic. Maybe it's a pandemic.
Pandemic.
Like almost like verbatim remake, which is what I would think would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, let's not like make it modernize it. Just like do old school with swimming in the ocean and him swimming
Just
underneath.
a scary
you
scuba
know?
diver with a melty face.
I like that explanation. Just a scary scuba diver with a melty face. You were right though, Victor. Oh, yeah. No, but you were right, Victor. I mean, they hit like every genre. I mean, they start. If you go from Black Lagoon, you've got classic Universal horror. Anne Rice. I'm assuming maybe she meant more of like the Interview with the Vampire, right? And those coming up. Yeah, we had Halloween. Halloween, obviously classic slasher. What else do we have? Alien. My God, yeah, so good. Some of the fans out there, and then I want to hear all y'all's opinion. Scott Benson said Salem's Lot is one of their favorite horror movies. I like a little deep, not deep cut, but more of a side Stephen King film. JD Smith says Alien. Jazz Bilby says Sweeney Todd. Does that count? All right. Yeah.
In pies? Yes.
Mhm.
Horror.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, what about you guys? What horror franchise is your favorite out of all of them? If you can name that. I mean, that's tough. It's like picking a
very
kid.
tough.
Franchise for me would be Halloween.
My man.
Halloween for sure for part one.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street has the creative kills because you can do so much in Dreamland.
Mhm.
But Michael Myers, Team Michael Myers all the way. Love Michael. I have done a million Halloween posters. Love Michael. Do his mask sucking? Yes. Some of them, yes. Absolutely. I'm not scared of 4 and 5, Michael,
no,
but I am
bad.
horrified.
Those are bad
I am
ones.
horrified of 1 and 2 and 6, Michael. Like
I'm with that.
Yeah.
One especially.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
You took on Rob Zombies too here. Where is he at? Which I thought was an interesting take. You know what I mean? It's not my favorite, like you said, because I like sort of the haunting kind of just paleness. But I get what this was going for, and it's definitely scarier than the 4 and 5. Like looked like somebody just like cut holes into rubber and called it a Michael Myers.
Well, that counts, doesn't it?
In the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, Michael Myers definitely had access to a much better gym because I mean, he was about 3 feet taller and about 100 pounds of muscle heavier, and he like. Holy crap! That was not the Michael that I knew, but you know.
Well, Rob Zombie's he always has to amp it up a bit. So
yeah,
true,
absolutely,
that's real.
Yes.
Amy,
my favorite series, I guess, would be Night, Dawn, Day of the Dead.
Oh, okay, nice.
Really, almost everything after, but just the original Romero zombie.
Yes.
Procedural.
Yes.
Because I guess zombies have been my favorite subgenre for the most part, and so those movies are just like home to me.
That's awesome.
Out of curiosity, if you can, what order would you put them in terms of like how much you? Because I've been going back and forth. It used to be Dawn, but recently, I don't know if it's been the pandemic or what, but Day of the Dead. I watched Day of the Dead about a month ago, and I was like, "Wow, this is 10 times better than I remembered as a kid."
That might be the pandemic doing that. Just the
no
quarantine aspect.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we're gonna hide out. But Dawn was number one for a long time. I think that just out of nostalgia, just the emotional connection. Night, Dawn. I don't know.
Sorry.
Right now,
that was a good question.
My brain is fried. I'm gonna stick to the original order.
Right. Right. That's amazing.
Mike,
what about you, man?
I'm gonna tell you in a sec. But JD Smith says day, dawn, night, in order from favorite to least. So they're going with the like. Oh no, it's not. I was gonna say, was it the actual order of time of the day? No, they went day, dawn, night.
Right.
Danny J. Quick says, I can't do horror. The scariest movies I watch are Justice League Dark. So
get out! Come on, Quick!
Wow.
Come on, Quick! Actually, Amy, you need to meet Danny J. Quick. He's a fellow Durham, North Carolina creator. So
Yes.
I need to
Definitely.
connect. Definitely.
Yeah, if we haven't already, but
100%. 100%.
I'm a Michael Myers. Halloween's my favorite. The original Halloween is my favorite single horror film of all time. And then I love the franchise, as silly as they like everyone for different reasons.
Right.
I love, even as silly as 4 and 5 are, I think just the evolution, like watching Danielle Harris then and then seeing Danielle Harris now. Like I'm a huge Danielle Harris fan.
Cool.
In Hatchet and all the fun, silly stuff she's in now. The Rob Zombie Halloween, obviously, as well. So that's my favorite killer / franchise is Halloween's. Shining is my favorite. I'm also a giant Stephen King nerd, so anything Stephen King that comes out, I'm gonna watch it. And the even though he didn't love it, but now has come around a little bit. Stanley Kubrick's Shining is also up there.
Yes.
For me, the background of my computer, you can't see it, is the carpet.
Why would you dude? You're just begging for evil.
I love it.
I'm kind of hoping for. I gotta be honest, as a horror fan, I'm one of those that like kind of wants to see a ghost or wants to see something go down.
Yes.
I almost said I want to see a murder, and that's not exactly. That's not exactly right. I just feel like I would do well in a killer situation.
I got you. You're not running up the stairs. You're running outside. I got you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I respect that.
Yeah. All right, Victor, take us home.
All right. So franchise, definitely. It is Halloween. Killer, it is Freddy Krueger, but my all-time favorite horror movie, American Werewolf in London. That is my sauce. That is my sauce. That transformation will forever and always be my jam. Close second to that though, Monster Squad. Let's go.
My childhood.
Let's go.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You're a makeup dude then. When it comes to horror movies, right?
Yes. The more gruesome, if you can taste it, that's how you know it's good. Yeah. That's good stuff.
This is actually my current, and then this is my current.
Yes.
Was my current vice for a while, just because of how ridiculous it was.
I love that. No, I love it.
Yeah, Saw turns into like it goes from like like the first two are like really like torture type movies, and then it turns into a weird like violent. It's like super violent version of CSI Miami.
Yeah.
like with the cops and everything. It's like Donnie Wahlberg in there.
No, there's a through line. I tried to teach people. There's a whole storyline going on.
Oh yeah.
Film. Yeah. whether
when the movie ends,
or not,
you're like, like a movie will end and you'll be like, oh my god, how the hell are they gonna start the next?
And you're
one?
Like, here's how.
Yeah.
Yep.
They are. When Carrie Elwes came back in like 3D, whichever, it was like 7, I think, or something like that, I literally gave a standing ovation in the theater. Now, there was probably only 5 people watching the movie with me.
Whatever. You were in that place,
but they all saw me, and they were like, we agree, we're the only fans left of this franchise. Although, Chris Rock's coming out with a whole new reboot on it that I'm pretty stoked for. It was supposed to come out last year called Spiral, so anyway.
And I liked Jigsaw. I thought Jigsaw was good.
Jigsaw was good. I thought it was a good reset, but apparently we're resetting again. For sure. Let's take a look at another clip. This is now Nightmare 5. Obviously, Lisa and Danny carry over because they made it, but with some new cast members for Nightmare 5. We talked a little bit, and Victor, you mentioned about Freddy being your favorite character. Well, you asked them straight up, what is your favorite Freddy moment from the series? And there's actually a lot of cool answers to this. So here is the cast talking about their favorite Freddy moment, and then I want to come back and just talk a little bit more, about our favorite kills, favorite killer moments, things like that. So take a look.
Bitch, or whatever, and then oh my god, that is bro. He's like, welcome to Prime Time, bitch. It's always like
That is a good one. Anybody else?
I love the moment in 4 when he's at the beach. And how often do you have a monster movie that's in broad daylight and he puts on his Ray-Bans? I just love that moment.
Freddy's the coolest.
Robert
always is, always will be.
man, he's in all kinds of video games and everything, you guys. Like, he's like, I forget, man. He's in a whole bunch of games. Like, his voice, I'm serious. Like, that whole way he talks and the whole deal, man. So it's
he's
just
amazing.
I hear it in so many things. I'm like, oh, that's a Nightmare on Elm Street thing. You know what I mean? You hear
it.
Or just like Garfield with 4 slashes on his chest. You're like,
that's a Freddy moment. That's a Freddy moment. Erica, Kelly, any favorite moments?
I love one. I love the whole movie of one.
Okay.
Because it was terrifying.
Right.
I think after that, they started to get a little lighter somehow. And like visually lighter. Like he was in shadow more and he was more threatening. And I just love one so much.
We were young.
Classic.
But I don't really know that I have like a favorite moment, but the first one was just so good.
Man,
the best death, and I think the best death, Tina's death on the ceiling and the blood and the white knight down.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Yeah, that was really good.
That was amazing. That was. Beatrice, what about you?
Well, for me, I mean, I love destroying him. And honestly, when one of the first versions of the script for 5, that was going to be the end. He was going to die. Like, you know, Robert Englund at the time said that's it. He wasn't going to do anymore. And then he started to think, you know, well, maybe I'll do more. But so in the original script, you know, when I take him back inside me, that was the end. You know, and I go up to the room of 100 Maniacs and jump in, and that was going to be the end. So I was like so stoked, like, whoa, I get to kill Freddy.
I get to kill Freddy.
Yeah, even though he's my son, it's kind of sad.
I mean,
and decided, well, let's make sure we have an open, you know, a possibility in case he wants to do it. So then they had his hand rip out. Which, by the way, when you were talking about special effects, you know, I was so excited watching everyone else's, you know, all these cool scenes, and I was like, oh, how are they going to do it? You know, I mean, I loved little baby Freddy, the little mechanical.
Oh yeah.
He's like a trippy character.
The sounds.
Yeah.
Sounds and, you know,
a baby only a mother could love.
Yeah,
maybe.
But, you know, I was so I was really looking forward to when I read in the script, you know, his hand comes ripping out. So I'm like, oh, that's gonna be so cool. How are they gonna do this? You know, they did all these cool special effects, and as you guys know, it was just a stupid old hand. I was so
well, I mean,
you know, I had to rip my own hand and fight my own hand. Oh my God. Really? Like this movie, this budget movie, and this is what I'm doing, fighting my hand. So
I love that. I love that. No, that's fantastic. Okay, so Kelly Jo, I want to give you an opportunity if you have one. If not, there's another question about working with Wes Craven, of course, on People Under the Stairs, which is another classic. If you, whichever one you want to answer.
I would like to talk about Wes.
Okay, let's do it.
I mean, wow, you know, what an opportunity, really. That guy was incredible. There again, when I actually had to read for that movie, I had the flu, and I came in, you know, I was waiting to go in and read, and I fell asleep in the lobby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, bad, really horrible. But you know what? They let me come back and read, and I read it, and I got the part. But I tell you, being around Wes, he had so many stories. We would really be transfixed at lunch because he wasn't the kind of director, oh, he's in his trailer and all. He was with, you know, the crew.
Right.
And he was telling us about Serpent and the Rainbow and how he came up with some of this stuff. It was an amazing, amazing time. And I'm really fortunate to have worked on 2 of his projects and meet him and work with him. Is one of my highlights.
That's awesome. That's absolutely
so cool. I love hearing about directors because, you know, they go under story told about sometimes, if you know what I mean. And someone like Wes, I mean, not only for Nightmare, but then, you know, reinventing himself with Scream and that whole franchise that often gets like, it's gonna have a resurgence. I feel like Scream's gonna come back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
With just the obsession with the 90s.
Totally.
Yep.
Coming back. That's one of my best sellers.
Yeah, because it was very in the 90s, but that ghost face is such an iconic
man.
You know? Favorite other horror directors out there from folks first, and then I want to talk about favorite deaths from Nightmare. But other horror directors. I know we talked Romero, obviously Wes, John Carpenter. I don't know, any others stick out to you?
I mean, Tarantino and Rodriguez for the Grindhouse double feature.
Yeah.
They put their stamp on it, like, severely.
I wish that they did more of those.
Yes.
Like, you know that they have that appreciation for those movies, and could have kept it going. I know they're busy, but
right.
But that was so much fun.
Yeah.
That double feature.
Fred Decker.
Amy.
Oh, nice.
Love Evil Dead, and then him coming back with Drag Me to Hell, which is one of the greatest
underrated
horror movies of the last decade.
Yeah, people need to go back and watch that. If you
Definitely.
never saw it the first time, it was definitely one of those ahead of its time. If you didn't know Raimi and you had no idea what you're getting yourself into, I could see you being confused by it. But it's so good, so good.
Yeah, really good.
JD Smith says Carpenter was probably the most consistent up until Village of the Damned, but they're picking Cronenberg as their most interesting director.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Especially for the creatures, if you're into creatures.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
All right, favorite deaths. Let's do it. There were some good ones, some good kills. They talked a lot about Danny's motorcycle transformation. Obviously, we're talking all things Nightmare right now, but if another one sticks out to you, any favorite kills or deaths from all those horror series out there?
Every kill in Nightmare 3.
Yes.
Every kill in Nightmare 3, the whole movie Nightmare 3, the story of Nightmare 3, the cast of Nightmare 3. I love Nightmare 3, but I'm honestly going to give it to the cockroach scene.
Oh, yeah, that's
which is not in Nightmare 3, but
No,
I mean, that
four.
one stuck with me as a kid. Yeah,
man.
that one stuck with me.
Arms.
The eye. And then it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So gross.
That's awesome. What about you, Amy?
So a big one in my house, which is not one of the greatest, but Freddy's Dead, I think number 6, was just like completely silly. You know, we're going off the deep end, and there's the death with when he dies in a video game.
Yes.
Power glove. Yeah.
That's right.
And that was just so fun to watch as a kid.
Isn't that the one that's 2 and I got a DeVita? Like, isn't that what's playing in the
gosh,
background?
yes.
Oh, yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Now I'm playing with power.
Straight up classic.
Perfect.
Yeah, that one I think stuck with me because we were already like staying up late watching scary movies and playing video games, and then like, oh my God, this is gonna happen.
It all came together. Full circle.
Absolutely.
I love how that series evolved. My gosh, I mean, one of the actors was talking about it in terms of it being just generally creepy to start, and some of those first kills are just like very memorable as well. They weren't as like over the top and makeup heavy, but you know the blood, you know, just like the blood gush scene. Scene is so good. Even just, I mean, it's such an iconic image now, but I had such a vivid memory as a child of the hand coming in through the bath, and I remember being like in a like just being very nervous about something.
I was like, you're in there. I know you're in there. You're gonna get me.
The tongue through the phone too, like the old.
Oh, that's creepy.
Just simple things like that, you know?
Right.
Can you imagine being the person who's writing the new Nightmare on Elm Street movie in the 80s and gets to come up with the kills?
Yes.
You can do whatever you want. It doesn't have to make any sense.
No.
Like,
no.
It's
That's
crazy.
why, like, I told Toy, like hers with the Let's Suck face, like that is an abstinence ad if I've ever seen one. Like, don't kiss because this could happen to you. Like, man, like, yeah, that one, creep-tastic.
Amazing.
Absolutely love it.
You guys both have some beautiful takes on Freddy. And again, as a reminder to fans, this has been great. This has been Wizard Weekly. We took a look back at the clips from the panels. If you're a big Nightmare fan, or if you're a fan, we've got Terrifier coming up. We've got Rob Zombie films. Harvey Guillen's going to be here 1 week if you're into dark comedy. Also a fun genre. Vampire films. Obviously, Jason. We're doing Manhattan and Lives coming up as well. So definitely take a look at all of these items are on sale at the Wizard World Vault, wizardworld.com, and they are signed by the cast. So these are Amy's right here, and then we saw a bunch from Chris as well. Thank you guys both for being here. If you want to see those full panels, definitely take advantage of the Wizard World Signature Series. Head to wizardworld.com to take advantage of those. I want to shout out one more to everyone watching in the chat. JD Smith said, I don't know if there's a better death than Kane in Alien. That is a
oh my God.
Yeah.
That's almost not even fair to bring that up. Like, come on.
That's iconic for so many reasons.
Every reason.
Oh, we were trying to have a civil discussion.
Right. Like,
that one wins every time.
Right.
Here's a couple of the posters from Chris there. While we see these scroll on by, why don't you guys give a final sign off? Let us know where we can find you on social media and the name of your Etsy store. Chris, why don't we start with you?
So I have an Etsy store, and it's chrisbutlerdesigns.etsy.com, and you can find me on Instagram also under Chris Butler Designs.
Very awesome. Very cool. Let me switch on over to Amy's. And Amy, go for it. Tell us where we can find these lovely works of art and more.
Yeah, I'm on Etsy, and you can just search Amy May Pop Art, and you'll find it on Etsy. It's at Amy May Pop Art on Instagram or Facebook. So yeah, that's where you can find me. And I'm always taking requests for different. If you don't see something in the shop, you can always ask me, and we'll put it together.
Awesome. Victor, tell everybody about yourself.
I am the greatest thing ever. You can actually see all the goodness that I'm doing at Vintage In-House on all forms of social media. You can also check out You Create Comics. That's the letter U, C-R-E, the number 8 comics.com to see the cool ways that I'm inspiring the next generation of comic creators with all the cool things. And of course, always look for me on a new panel with Wizard World. And soon, Wizard World or Wizard Magazine will be returning. Come on. Come on, let's make it happen.
If we will,
let's make it happen.
It will come.
Yes.
And my name is Mike G. I'm one of your regular hosts and director of programming here at Wizard World. If you want to follow me on social, you can follow me at Mike G Does Things. Send me all kinds of ideas. I take them all, and a lot of ideas that we bring here on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube come from fan ideas. So if you want to just come out and hang and talk about any topic at all, hit me up again at Mike G Does Things. You can also email me mikeg@wizardworld.com. We appreciate this. Our very first official artist spotlight of the week. Again, you can find all their stuff, Chris and Amy, in their sites. You can also head to wizardworld.com and get those signed versions under the respective panel of your choosing or the respective cast. Speaking of those casts, I said at the beginning, I'll say it again because I think my microphone was off at the beginning. We have 2 amazing panels coming up this Saturday as part of the Nostalgia series. We're going to take a look back with the cast of the original Walker, Texas Ranger. Is going to be joining us in the AM, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then join me, because I get to interview and nerd out with the kids all grown up from the original, was it 1984, 1985? Stephen King.
No, it's later than that, man.
Was it later? 96?
91?
Yeah, it was like
91.
There it is. I was trying to make myself feel older, younger. I'm not sure what. The original Stephen King's It miniseries. We're going to be talking to that cast on the weekend, so super excited for that. Otherwise, follow us at Wizard World on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we will see you next time. Wizard Weekly, everybody. We out.
Bye.